Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the Credits. Once again, I'm your host, Nick DiLorenzo. And with me, we have some very special guests, UCF students, who are doing some really cool things. So, Alan and Alex, just kind of introduce yourself and then like what your role is with this project, and then kind of give us like a brief summary of what this project actually is.
Well, I'm Alan, and I am a writer and a producer for the show. But I would like to think myself more as hey Alex, if you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you, because he's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah, consistently. So my role is the showrunner. So basically everything that happens with the show is my job. And just overseeing Alan, the rest of the writing team, the marketing team, and just everything that we do. So that's why Alan's always there saying, hey Alex, can I do something? But yeah, really the show got started a little bit over a year ago. And it was just an idea that popped into my head. But I didn't really have enough of the experience myself writing to go ahead and go through with it. So I brought on 2 more film students as kind of co-writers to go ahead and help me along. Frank Volk is kind of the head writer on the series. He couldn't be here. He has class right now. But we brought him on, and then I brought Alan on and Laura and a few of these other writers to go ahead and help us put this series together, because we are writing the entire pilot season before we're pitching this.
Okay.
So
and am I wrong in assuming you're both film majors?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right. So as the showrunner, I guess this is a good opportunity to kind of ask, so what is the show? Like what, it's called Contingency Plan, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. The show is basically, our logline is, as an uncontrollable virus ravages the planet, a group of 8 astronauts are sent on a desperate mission when they're violently thrown off course. So basically we will have dual storylines between this group of 8 astronauts on their mission and their significant others back on Earth. And we single out one of the astronauts and his wife back on Earth, and we pretty much follow their storylines as they diverge, and they have parallel structures and narratives to them as well. But really it's a massive kind of world that we're building for them, but it's really character-centered. So you get a sense of who these characters are right off the bat, and you get a sense of all these things that are pulling them away from one another and kind of tearing them apart, even though all they want to do is be together.
So how did this idea come about? Who came up with it, and what's the time frame we're looking at here?
I came up with it in July 2016, and I was just kind of like writing some stuff down, some brief ideas on who I wanted the characters to be, kind of making notes off of my roommates and some other people who I knew, because this is like largely based on scientists and things like that. So reaching out to a bunch of people who I know who knew other scientists or astronauts who work at NASA to kind of get a sense of who I could make these characters. And then in August 2016, I brought on 2 other film students to help with writing, and we worked for about 2 months on just the characters and the plot line for the pilot episode. Then in February of this year, Alan and Laura and Nikki, 3 more of our writers, were brought onto the project so we could go ahead and write all 10 episodes of the first season.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting because like a lot of us, we're not really that into science fiction. Like, we really like science fiction, but we don't know like the material, so we need to do a lot of research. So
Right.
A lot of the writers that we have that join they have their different fortes. Yeah, and like, we have a writer that loves to write romantic stories. So whenever we have a character that needs to go through, something that has to do with, relationships and all that, we have her start writing.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of us are doing a lot of research to catch up with Frank and Alex with their, wide knowledge of all this science.
That's cool. It sounds like a lot of you guys are kind of bringing something different to the table.
Yes,
You have
yes.
some variety there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're both students, so you're balancing. Are you current students?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
So you're both balancing,
everything.
class.
Balancing
As you said, like
everything.
One of your guys couldn't be here simply because he's got class, which I mean,
Yes.
obviously making the very mature and respectable decision.
Yeah.
But so is that difficult to balance both like this ambitious kind of project and keeping it going? It's been some time now.
Yeah.
While
Yeah,
studying?
I remember the way that I was brought into it is we were at Writers Coffee with Screenwriting Club, and someone told me, oh, they're going to go to Contingency Plan right afterwards. And I said, what is that? And then they explained, oh, it's a show that Alex wants to do. and I know Alex. I've known of Alex. I've heard of him. I've heard of the things he's done, and I was like, all right, I want to be part of that. And so I messaged him and I said, I want to be a part of it, and he said, come along, and it's been a ride, and it's been a lot of balancing because it's a lot of people that are dedicated, very dedicated on this show, even though there's, we all know that we're not getting paid. We believe in it so much, and that's what's been great about it is we believe in it so much, and we are all balancing, not just class, but also like jobs,
Right, true, yeah.
living. Where am I gonna live? And also like all these, all these films that we're working on because we're not only making our own films, we're working on everyone else's films.
Right.
So it's a lot of balancing, and I guess this is a huge learning experience, and it's fun to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
it's been exciting.
A lot of people on this project are like the busiest people in the film program. So talk about balancing. We're always on multiple projects. I know you probably have 5 or 6 going. I know I have 5 going right now.
Yeah.
Contingency Plan being my largest one and the one I do dedicate the most of my time to. We started out, we've had 2-hour writers meetings since August of last year. And we continued that over the summer. However, a lot of us weren't around, so we were doing Skype meetings then, and starting tomorrow we're going to be doing our meetings again, but they're now going to be 3 hours because there's just so much to talk about, so many things that still need to be done with writing the first season, with coming up with the
So where
arcs.
are you in that process? I saw a photo, and you guys had like a cool table read.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So I assume some stuff has been written. So like what all has been written? What are you
absolutely.
working on now?
We finished the pilot, but we're not done. We need to rewrite it 1,000 times.
So you have a draft.
before-
You have
we have drafts on
draft
top of
5
drafts
right
on
now.
Oh, wow,
draft
okay.
5. Yeah, and we're also taking care of other episodes as well. We have someone assigned for episode 2, someone assigned for episode 3. I'm on episode 4, and we talk to each other constantly, trying to find out hey, I'm having trouble. I don't know how to deal with this, and we'll
Right,
talk
kind of
to each
breaking the
other. So
story
yeah, we're assigned to our episodes, but everyone's doing everything.
It's a very collaborative writing process because Frank and I might be kind of like the main writers on it, so we'll have final say. But there are so many decisions that when it comes to the character or when it comes to something that's going to happen to them in space or back on Earth, it's a group effort to decide what we're doing to all these characters. And we really... we'll spend sometimes an entire meeting just talking about a single character or just a single plot point that we want to have happen and making sure that it's the strongest one that we have and that it's the best course for where we want to take the show, because we already know how we want to end the entire series. So we're just trying to figure out where we put kind of the plot points and how do we piece this together in an interesting way, where it's not just I've seen this before on this television series or something else.
That's really cool. So, and I know you guys were unfortunately running out of time, but you guys are hopefully once you're finished, and I know you have some work to kind of complete and finish and drafts to go through, but you're hopefully pitching it to Netflix. I know that's kind of the goal.
HBO, yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. So where can people, real quick, what website can people go to find your project?
It's www.contingencyplanshow.com.
All right, very cool. Thanks to Alan and Alex for being on the show.
thank
Hope to
you.
have you guys back
Thanks for
when
having
it comes
us.
out. I'm very
Absolutely.
excited for you guys. When we come back, we're going to do a summer recap, and also we're going to take a break now, so stick around for that.